Hello, everyone. So Barry, I came in as an attendee because we had that earlier meeting. It kept wanting me to put me back at 11 a.m. on Zoom. So I'm here as an attendee.
You're good. You're now the host.
Okay. Thank you. Hi, everyone. And thank you for coming to Talking Points for BlindShell USA. I am just overwhelmed. I am floored. I thought maybe we would have 7 or 8 people, but there's a lot of you out there and I greatly appreciate it. And I'm just, like I said, I'm shocked. I'm actually so excited. I'm speechless. So anyway, welcome to Talking Points. And so my format has to change because, like I said, I was expecting a small group, and now we have a very, very, very large group. I would love to hear all your comments, questions, but obviously we won't get to everybody. So one thing that we're considering doing is dividing it up. So this is our introductory meeting. So in the future, what I may do is have one session be for beginners, people new to the BlindShell or people who want to learn about the BlindShell, and then the other Thursday in the month be people who are advanced users. So we will look into doing that. But for right now, we will go on with the format that I planned. So what I thought I'd do is just do a quick rundown of the new features, the new apps that have been released to the BlindShell, and then open it up to everybody. So the first one I want to talk about is Aira, A-I-R-A. And for those who don't know, that is a service where you are connected with a sighted agent who is actually looking through your camera, and they can assist you with anything that you want them to help you with, whether it's matching your clothes, whether it's, my TV isn't working, can you tell me what it says on the screen, to computer issues, to crossing the street. Aira is there to assist you. And for anybody who uses Aira on their BlindShell, whether you're a current BlindShell user or you purchase a BlindShell, you get 200 free Aira minutes. And that is a great deal and a great way to get exposed to Aira. So you would need to download the Aira app from the App Store. And then if you're already a user, you can log in using your assisting username, password. If you're a new user, you can register on the phone or you can call Aira and they will help you out. Another app that people have been asking about is Google Lookout. And I just want to tell you how to get into Google Lookout because it's a little confusing. So you download Google Lookout from the App Store. And then the first time you open it, you're going to have to go through a lot of allow messages. So you're going to have to, for each of the 5 items. So let's say for explore mode, which allows you to use your camera around the room and see what's there. You would have to go down, click OK on don't show this message again, scroll down and click OK on OK. You're going to have to do that for all 5 menus in the Google Lookout mode. And Alexa. So we now have Alexa on BlindShell Classic 2, and people are a little bit confused about that because when you open Alexa again, you download the app, you put in your username, password from Amazon, and then Alexa will be ready to go. And where it says type or tap Alexa, that's when you have to hit the OK button, and then you'll hear like a little pop, and that's when you know you can talk to Alexa. And all of your devices should show up, your thermostats, your lights, whatever you have in your home connected to Alexa, your dots, they will all show up on your account. So that was my quick rundown of the 3 apps that have given people a little bit of a problem getting it started.
So Diane,
So-
what I'm going to do here with you
Okay. Mhm.
is, first of all, thank you so much for that introduction and going through and highlighting those 3 applications. So what we'll do now is, one, if you want to, if you're able to post, individuals out there, if you want to post questions in the Q&A or the chat, whatever is accessible and easier for you to connect with, you can post questions there. I will read them out, and Diane will do our best to answer. Additionally, you can raise your hand and we can call, do our best to bring you in and share your questions and or if you have any tips and so on and so forth. But before we do that, Diane, the BlindShell Classic 2 is such a powerful platform, and I think it's worthwhile that you go in and elaborate, as far as like Google Lookout, because I have a feeling that so many people out there may not know, the true capabilities of Google Lookout and what it can actually provide and assist with.
Sure. And I just came barreling in like I always do, and I never even introduced myself. So hi, I am Diane Ducharme. I'm the Senior Program Manager for BlindShell USA. So Google Lookout is an incredible app, which I never even heard of because I was using an iPhone at the time. So when I saw this Google Lookout, I was like, oh, what's this? So Google Lookout has 5 different modes to it. The first is Explore. So you can use it to look around your room. It'll tell you what's there. If it happens to land on text, your camera lands on text, it'll actually read that text. So it's great if you're going, say, you're in a big office building and you're trying to find a specific office number, you can use Google Lookout as you're going by, and it'll read the, the door plates to let you know the numbers of the offices. It also has a currency reader. It has a barcode reader, so it'll read all your items in your cabinet, and it's your grocery items. It also has a text reader. So I always like that one for like spot checking. So, okay, who's this mail from? And then when I want to actually read what's in it, I can go into the document mode and read that as well. So it does turn text into speech as well. So it's a great app. If you don't already have it downloaded, please download it. If you have any questions about it, you could contact me and I can help you out with that.
Excellent. Thank you, Diane. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring our good friend Michael into the chat, and I'm going to promote him here to, I think I can promote him to a panelist.
And I want to say one thing about everybody is welcome to come in and speak. If you don't, you just want to listen, that's fine too. However, I would like to make the meeting balanced. So if you have something that you're bringing up that's causing you an issue with your BlindShell, that's fine. I welcome it. However, you also need to tell me one thing you like about your BlindShell. And the reverse is true. If you come on and tell me you love your BlindShell, awesome. But I also want to hear what you think a good recommendation would be.
And we also have prepared 2 simple questions. Hopefully you'll stay for the full duration of this live stream. We're going to go until 1:45 Eastern. We have 2 simple questions which we'd love for you to answer at the end of the live stream. And I think it will be very helpful and beneficial to the entire BlindShell community. So I've just brought in Michael, and we'll say that Michael is a power user, if you want to call that. We think that's a good terminology, Diane?
I definitely would agree.
Excellent. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you, Barry and Diane. Really appreciate it. So Diane, you want to hear a good thing / tip and a complaint, and I can help with that. So I noticed a discussion on one of the mailing lists. I'm on so many I can't even keep them track anymore. And one of the questions is the star key on the phone is not unlocking. And people tend to think that they have to take the battery out of the phone in order to reset it. And I've helped 2 people already today, so it must be an issue issue lately with some of the phones, but if you press and hold the back button for approximately 15 seconds, you'll feel a longer vibration. After you feel that, release the back button and wait about 28 seconds, and then the phone will turn on and you'll be good to go again. It shouldn't happen too often, but if it does, to me, I find that a lot more convenient, especially when I'm out and about, to taking off the back of the phone, because that's never fun, and people don't want to do that. One thing I wish that the BlindShell would do a little bit better or be more effective on is and you're going to hear this a lot, quieter loudspeaker when I'm on speakerphone on phone calls.
So thank you, Michael, for sharing that. We really appreciate it. Diane, do you want to go ahead and address the latter part of Michael's comments?
Yes, so BlindShell, our development team is aware of that, and they are currently busy working on a fix. They know that is an issue, and yeah, trust me, it bothers me too. So I know, I hear you, and we are working on it.
Yep, we anticipate that within the next 30 days, we will have a fix for that specific bug. And I also just want to, share with the community that if you happen to be part of one of the groups out there, and Diane and Michael can talk about the different groups if you want to become part of it, where it's quite active, where it's really on a daily basis, as far as BlindShell community, individual sharing, positive and negative feedback. Like Diane said, we want this to be fair and balanced. Michael and Diane can share as far as how to connect with those groups. But I want to stress that BlindShell as a whole, we look at all those comments, we review everything. Sometimes you may hear from us, sometimes you may not hear from us, but rest assured is that we are working behind the scenes to always improve and make the platform more and more powerful, more and more successful, and more accessible, and just doing everything we can to provide the best possible platform for the BlindShell Classic 2. So I have a question. There's a question here that was posted in the chat. Again, you can post in the chat if you'd like. John has the question was, he noticed, it goes, I noticed the VCF is version 2. Can I import contacts in version 3 format? And Michael, maybe do you know that answer?
There's an answer I don't know. Oh, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know the difference. If I suspect, I mean, the worst that could happen is you could try it and see if it works. I don't see why it would not, even though it is version 3 versus 2.
Okay. So John, Diane, do you want anything to add on to that?
I honestly would at that point texted Michael and said, hey. So this is great. We got the answer right from the source.
Yeah, and we can also, John, we can go ahead also, and we will we'll reach out directly to you as well.
Yeah.
Again, if we don't have, and if anyone here has experience or tried something that we're talking about and wants to chime in, of course, feel free to raise your hand as well. We will call upon you. But John, we will definitely take that question and get back to you with an official answer. Thank you very much. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in Robert. Robert, I'm going to allow you to go ahead and talk.
Hi, Robert.
Robert, you go ahead. You should unmute yourself.
I don't know why it's doing that.
There you are.
Okay. My question is there any, like the Viphone has a mailing list where you can ask, where you get questions. I'm not on the, I have a BlindShell phone and I love it, but I'm not on a list where I could get suggestions if I run into problems. I know there's probably a mailing list, but I'm not on the mailing list.
So yes, so there's actually several ways. One is you could email BlindShell at support@blindshellusa.com, and we'll go over all those email addresses and phone numbers again, but it's support@blindshellusa.com. You can also email me, Diane, at blindshellusa.com. Yep. And there's two lists that I know of, listservs. Are you on any of those yet?
No, I'm not. That's the problem.
Okay. Okay. So the first
So can I
one
just
is
email you and you could put me on the list? or
exact.
no?
Yeah, you can, but well, no, I can't put you on the list. That's something you have to subscribe to, because these listservs are not run by BlindShell. They're totally separate. They've been started by people who do not work for BlindShell. I pop in if there's something I can help with. I do. I see Michael pops in, but so they are totally run by a user
individuals.
and other individual. Yeah. So I could give everybody that information. Barry, could you put it in the chat while I'm saying it, maybe?
Yes,
Or-
yes, I think
okay.
I can do that.
So the first one is BlindShell Classic. So you would type in your, and if you're creating an email, type in BlindShell Classic, the plus symbol, subscribe at groups.io. And then the second one is BlindShell, and then just the number 2. So it'd be BlindShell 2, the plus sign, subscribe at groups.io.
So let me, I make sure, so I make sure I have BlindShell 2 at,
No, BlindShell 2, the plus sign,
yep, subscribe.
subscribe at
At-
groups.io.
Okay, I'm gonna put both those in the chat right now.
Okay, thank you. They're great. I mean, I learned so much from those myself. So I love the ingenuity of, first of all, I think blind people are just so inventive, and it's like there's a problem, that's not a problem, there's a workaround always. So I just love how people are just taking their blind shells and doing the most creative things that I'm sure BlindShell didn't even realize themselves that could be done. So keep it up.
Thank you, Robert.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and bring in Cheryl.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
We hear you
Hi,
loud and clear.
Cheryl, all the way from Canada.
Yeah, I'm all the way from Canada. Okay, I love my BlindShell. I never go without it. I can't go without it because I don't have a landline anymore. And the thing is, I can never have to dial a number manually ever again, because it's all in. I have my contacts, and I can, if somebody calls me, then I can add to contacts, and that's a great thing. But if I'm writing email, and I'm using the voice, because the thing is, I'm not very fast when I type with a keypad. So I've been trying writing email, and I send it the way it is with the mistakes and stuff. And I get told the message doesn't really make sense because voice recognition isn't perfect. So is there any way to make it perfect, or is there any way to edit the mistakes? Because that would probably take forever to go through the message word by word or character by character to edit them to get all the mistakes.
So you're saying when you dictate something, you want to be able to edit it also using dictation?
Well, yeah, that's a thing, or finding the mistakes and correcting voice recognition. And why does voice recognition, if I dictate, why does it make mistakes? Are they going to perfect it, or what's going to happen with the voice dictation?
Well, again, that's something that BlindShell is aware of, that the voice dictation is it has issues. I know this is not something that helps you, but voice dictation for any device is like that for some reason. So the way that I have found that helps with the voice dictation is how you hold the phone. So if you hold it up, pretty much at your mouth level, that's the best position to hold it. I would tend to hold my phone down, and it's ridiculous, like I'm looking at it because I can't even see it. So, and I noticed the dictation was worse. So if I hold the phone up, that does seem to help. As far as editing it, so I know you say your message, you hit the OK button, and at that point,
Yeah, it reads it.
it reads it. So at that point, you could do letter by letter, word by word, but you said you don't want to do it that way. You want to see if you could do it, correcting it by dictation.
Yeah, well, by line by line, because the thing is, how do you go to a certain line and go to a certain word? I know there's a way to make it spell the whole thing out for you, but that takes long.
Yeah. So if you, and I'm not sure if this is what you're asking. So if you hit that, the notification button, the little button under the screen on the left-hand side, that will allow you to go word by word, letter by letter. And you can use the up and down navigation bars to go through it.
Oh, and then backspace the letter out and.
Yeah, so if you backspace, if you hit the back button, that takes away the letter that it's on. Well, like say I was I wrote DIAN A instead of an E on the end. I can hit the backspace and that'll take away that A, and then I can type the E. But yeah, if you hit that notification button, you could go word by word or letter by letter. And then you use the navigation buttons to go through your email.
And Diane, can I jump in here for half a second?
Absolutely.
So when you're using the down button to move forward in the text or the up button to move back in the text, and in Diane's example, let's say she had just wrote DIANA, and she's at the end of the text, she can press the up button to go back in the letters. And when you press up once, it's going to say N. If you press up once, it's going to say A. Again, it'll say I and then D. When the phone is saying the letter, that's the last letter that the phone has. So if, let's say, you press back at the end of the word, it's not going to tell you A because it's already deleted the A. The phone's going to say N, which is the last letter that's actually entered into the text. And I've seen some users get confused with this, but hopefully that helps. And I really love that move word by word feature, because if you press that top left button, that'll switch you to words. Then pressing your up button won't take you to the previous character. It'll take you to the previous word, so you can quickly move through your text to edit it.
Yes. And if you hold down the top bar, that'll take you to the beginning. If you hold down the back, it'll take you to the end. I'm sorry, that if you hold down the bottom bar, it'll take you to the end of your text.
I like voice dictation though. That's a thing, and I like Alexa on my phone. But my friend, my sighted friend, has a regular phone, and he's been helping me with getting my Echoes set up, and he says the phone or Alexa doesn't recognize my phone, so that's what's happening.
So, are you trying to use Alexa to see your BlindShell?
Yeah.
Compare them together?
Yeah, that's what I did. The BlindShell recognizes all the things that all my speakers, but the thing is that the speakers don't recognize my phone for some reason.
Yeah, it's not going to work that way. It only works the first way, that Alexa on your phone will recognize all the devices, but the devices will not recognize Alexa. Unless I'm wrong, Michael? Did we lose Michael?
Oh,
I'm muted in too many places. You are not wrong, Diane.
Okay.
yeah, and is there any way to sync Google, like with the calendar on the phone? Is there any way to sync Google with my Google Calendar with my phone? So everything's on the phone.
I honestly have not tried that, but I can look into that. Michael, I don't know if you have any insights.
I do have an answer. I have lots of
Okay.
answers. So you cannot, unfortunately, sync Google apps is the best way to explain that. So you cannot sync your Google contacts and you cannot sync your Google Calendar right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And it would be nice if we had Duolingo. Like I'm studying French and Spanish on Duolingo, and it would be nice to have the app. I'm using the website now, but it would be nice to have the Duolingo app on the phone.
Okay, noted.
Great, thank you so much. We have a
So
lot of hands that are raised, so we want to do our best to get to as many people as possible. I also just want to point out that I am answering some of the questions in the chat as well at the same time. So thank you, Cheryl, and we will moving on to next time. This first individual calling from Eric, calling in by phone with the last 4 digits of 5292. You can go ahead and speak.
Hi.
Hi.
This is Allison Fallon, and Michael, I never got your email. Anyway, I guess what I would like to know, which I know everyone probably has asked, is there any way they're going to fix so that you can just go down and it doesn't skip to search?
Yes, that is actually something they are working on too, that they had asked me for a priority of fixes, and that was number 2 on my list. The first one was the speakerphone and the second was the skipping. So yes, that is being worked on currently.
Now, are these biweekly calls, are they going to be the same? Well, let's start at the beginning. Do we need to register for each one?
No, once you are registered, you will receive automatic notification of the next call as a reminder. So you do not, once you're registered, you are locked in.
Okay. And will it be the same webinar ID?
Yes, everything will remain the same.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to move down to Terry. 1 second. Or yeah, Terry.
Okay, hello, my
Hi.
name is Terry, and I have, oh boy, several questions, and I don't know if I can have them all answered today, and if not, that's all right. I was wondering if the BlindShell will ever put Google Play in their phone. And the reason that I'm asking that question is because I have I'm with Vonage, and I would like to be able to connect the BlindShell phone to my Vonage account so that I can get calls on the BlindShell phone rather than the iPhone whenever I get a call.
Okay, that's a great question. So Vonage is an individual platform, I guess, for calls.
It's a phone company,
Yeah.
and it works by internet.
Yeah, so we will look into that as far as potential to add Vonage as another way to communicate, as far as bring that as an individual application to the BlindShell. It's something we're happy to look at.
Okay, and the other one is maybe could someone send me the information on how you use the document feed, like how you would add a document to your phone so that it can read it to you.
Okay. So the easiest way is to attach it to an email. And
Uh-huh.
then when you open up that email,
Mhm.
you would go down to, you would open the email and then you would hit OK. And then a menu pops up with, reply all, accept, all that stuff. You go to
Mhm.
attachment, and then you open the attachment, you click on the attachment, and then it'll ask you if you want to save it to the document reader, and then you can save it to the document reader. And then when you go back into your document reader, it'll be there in your list.
Okay, so you have to actually email the document.
I'm sure, actually, this came up last night, so I don't know. Michael, is there another way that you could directly take something and put it in your document reader?
I think the only other way that comes to mind, and I'm sure if someone else has more experience, they can let us know, is if you have a computer or another device and then you copy
Yes.
the document to your
Mhm.
phone
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah, to the SD
Okay.
card. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And the last question is, do you think BlindShell will ever put Sirius XM on the phone?
That is a great question, and comments noted. We will.
Okay.
That's something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a
That.
temporary workaround for that, Barry. For people
for it.
who are unaware, if you use Alexa and you connect Alexa to Sirius XM, you can play Sirius through Alexa.
Beautiful.
Cool. I love it. Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mhm. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, we're gonna go to Brian now. Brian, we're just waiting for you to unmute. All right, while we're waiting for Brian to unmute herself, I'm going to put this question out there from the chat. And is an individual needs to enter the less than symbol to access their email. Where is the less than character in the BlindShell Classic 2 keyboard?
I would have to check, but if it's not under the one, the other option would be the star key. So if you're in a text box, if you hit the star key, that also runs through a bunch of symbols.
Thank you. Okay, Brian. Okay, Brian, we'll have to come back to you during a
Zoom webinar.
there you are. Okay, Brian, it's been possible maybe you're logged in twice, and that's where we're getting that extreme echo. So we will have to come back to you. I'm going to go now to Deborah. Deborah, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi. I don't have a BlindShell, but it's something that I might consider in the future. But what I was wondering, and I wasn't sure whether I was going to be able to unmute, so I also put this in the chat session too. Can you, or if not, will there be a time when you can use your BlindShell with a Braille display, like the Focus or the any of the note takers that are out there, like the new Hable one that they have for the iPhones. I know that so I'm a Braille reader, and it would be nice to be able to use a Braille display with the BlindShell, if at all possible.
I absolutely agree. I also got a chance to play with the Hable. I think it's an awesome device. It's very easy to type in Braille then with your with the Hable. At this point, right now, the only Bluetooth things you can do with the BlindShell are audio, so speakers, headphones, and some hearing aids. Now, I have asked our development team to please look into making it possible for Braille displays to be able to use with it, because I do understand how important that is.
Because
I don't
I'm
know if
thinking
they,
there's for a deaf-blind person
oh
who
yeah,
might want to use the the BlindShell, and that might be I think that's quite important as well.
yeah.
Yeah, this, obviously we've had many requests for Braille displays. We have a Hable device in the office as well. And these are all things that we are looking to enhance the overall experience, so individuals have, more ways to communicate. So I am certain that, in the future, we will have, those options available.
Also, there's the cost as well, because I'm sure that the more you put on the device, the BlindShell, it could be pretty costly, and I'm sure that might be a concern.
Yes, you are correct, but a lot of the updates that we've, continued to provide and enhance the actual device, a lot of it is software based, and we have an incredible team that works day and night to enhance the overall platform. So there is, of course, that balance, but again, this is something that it is brought up. Not the first to bring it up, and we do our best to continue to enhance wherever we can.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to now move to Robert.
The Zoom webinar meeting information button to activate, press space bar.
Go ahead, Robert.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Audio
good.
now unmuted.
Good. I have a comment and a quick question. First of all, I want to thank Michael for giving me the answers to my BlindShell locking up. Since I talked to him, I've not had that issue happen with with everything on my phone locking up. Since I've turned it off and turned it back on, it's been working well. I really was not hoping to have to take the battery out either, but
Yeah.
so I didn't have to go through that. But I do have a question, and I have read the documentation, and it's a little bit, or maybe I'm just not understanding. How do I add a ringtone to a corresponding contact?
So you would go into, let me grab my phone real quick to make sure I tell you correctly. You would go into contacts. Hold on, I think. It's funny, Mike and I both were having the same thought. We were both looking on the phone, and neither of us see a greater than or less than sign.
You mean you don't know that right off the top of your head?
Can you believe it?
No, no.
1 of 2, subject. 2 of 5, save the drafts. 1 of 2, discard message.
Okay.
Email. 1 of 4, email. Communication.
The reason I'm hesitating with what I'm saying is because it may be in settings, so I just want to check.
Add new contact. Single button dial. Import contacts. Backup contact. Contact settings. 6 of 6.
And okay. It's not there. So let me go to settings. And I know Michael is like, I know the answer.
Probably. And while you're doing that, I did think of one other quick question. How do I change the voice, not the verbosity, but from the default voice to another voice?
That I do know. So you go into settings.
Okay.
And you go into sounds. And you go into voice output.
That makes
and
sense.
You could change the rate, and it's called voice variant, and you can pick it from there.
Okay, I got it.
So,
sounds 1 of 11. Profile 1 of
so Barry, you want to take another question while I look for this so that,
Yes. So yes. So let's go ahead and so the question came up again. Can Table 1 be used as a Bluetooth keyboard with the BlindShell Classic 2? At the moment, at the moment it cannot, but it's something perhaps hopefully in the future we will be able to add that functionality. Thank you, John, for your questions. Let's go here. Izzy asked, is Wi-Fi required to use the phone and all the associated apps? That's the first question. And so, Diane, you want to answer that? Is Wi-Fi required to use the phone? Michael, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, well, Diane's looking because Diane, I can't find where to set contact. Or ringtones. I just looked everywhere that I can think of. So,
and I know you can. So.
Yeah, me too. So I just can't figure out how to do it. This looks bad. So we may need to get back to you. Shoot Diane an email to support it.
I can do that.
I think I might have figured it out, but go ahead and answer the other thing.
I can do that. Either that or somebody can answer me. I mean, both of you, Michael and Diane, have my email address.
Perfect. So I will answer the other question while Diane's trying that because she may have found the answer. You don't necessarily need to be connected to Wi-Fi for all of the features on the BlindShell. However, the BlindShell is limited not being connected to Wi-Fi or data of other sorts, because you wouldn't be able to A, install any of the system updates, and B, you also wouldn't be able to install any of the third-party apps.
Okay. Did you finish, Michael?
Yep.
Okay. So I did find it. So you go into contacts, you go into your contacts list, you go down to the person you want to assign the ringtone to, you hit OK on that person, and then you can scroll down to assign a ringtone.
Fantastic. I can do that.
Good. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Robert.
Thank you much. I have to go. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks.
I want Diane, you're going to answer this question, please, from Larry. Any GPS capability?
So right now, the only GPS is the localization, which will tell you the address of where you are at. However, I have a beta phone and something is appearing on my phone about GPS. So that is telling me that that is something that is in the development works. And I've played around with it a little bit, and so far, and I hope I'm not saying anything I shouldn't be saying, but Barry's like, yeah. So again, she would do something like that. But what I've noticed on this particular thing is that there's different categories. So I selected banking, and all of a sudden, all these banks around me showed up I could contact them. It gives their rating, like, what people thought of them and whether they were open or closed, and directions. Now it's not complete and it's not live, but it shows me that it's something that's in the development phase. So I was very happy to see that.
Great, thank you. Stay tuned for that.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and we're going to take, we've already hit the 45-minute mark, and I think we're going to take a few more questions from our attendees. Again, please remember to just stay put. When we end the webinar, you're going to come up with 2 questions. If you can just help us out by answering those 2 questions, nothing too complicated. We'd love to get your input. So let me go ahead and take a few more questions before we close out today's talking points. We're going to go ahead and go to the individual who called in with the last 4 digits of 7264. If that individual with their phone number ending in 7264, you can unmute yourself. That would be great. you're having technical difficulties, we sincerely apologize. In the meantime, I'm going to go to Donna, and I'm going to allow you to talk. Donna, you can unmute yourself.
Audio now unmuted. Zoom
Hello.
lower
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. First off, I love the BlindShell phone. It's absolutely awesome for somebody who went crazy with all of that swiping and all of that, the buttons. It has totally de-stressed my life. Never thought I'd be attached to a phone, but I am, and I love it. My
Well, thank you.
question, my question is it in the works to allow us to actually live stream on YouTube feeds and that?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
So let's put it like this. You know, we want to bring as many applications, as many features as possible to the phone. It's just going to be a matter of time as far as prioritizing, you know, from a priority level based on requests, based on, you know, overall popularity. And so we will definitely share that with our team of developers and see what we can do to at least get that on the list.
Great. Thank you so much. And it's wonderful being able to read Kindle books with Alexa on the phone too. Thanks to everybody that worked so hard to make this available to us.
Thank you so
Thank
much. We
you.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, we are going to go now to Dan.
Can you hear me?
We hear you.
Yes.
I don't know if it's true, but are you going to be working with the ARX glasses?
The answer is yes.
Only reason I'm asking is I'm an iPhone user. However, I think there's a real case for the BlindShell. I have a friend that said he didn't want to be comfortable with a touchscreen, so I recommended the BlindShell, and I recommended that he come to this webinar. But I'm wondering, I don't know what kind of iOS solution they're going to come up with, but I'm just wondering if I should consider a second phone or what I should do.
You know, we were just talking about this today with somebody from the UK, actually, and he brought this up to me, and I never actually thought of it myself, but he said that what they're finding is the solution right now is a combination of the BlindShell and, say, an iPad, because the BlindShell, I said the worst part of the iPhone for me is using the phone. It's like you can't hang up a phone call. It's like you keep tapping, and the person's and the person's still there. So that would be a great combination to have a tablet that still does things that, you know, aren't on the BlindShell yet, but use the BlindShell for your phone calls, where it's just, you know, you can feel the tactile buttons when they ask you to put in an extension. Right there, you can do it with those tactile buttons instead of having to swipe, and then by the time you get the second number in, it's already discontinued. You know, they already hung up on you. Yeah. So a combination of the two for now would be a good solution.
I don't have an iPad, but I don't know how ARX would come into play with that, because I would think that ARX would need my mind went blank. I'm sorry.
Yes.
You would need like GPS and other things to look around. And I've used Ira with Shox headphones, and it's just doing the camera stuff is just frustrating sometimes.
As far as knowing where to aim the camera, is that what you mean?
Right.
Or holding it?
Yeah, where to hold it. And then the fact that it's not hands-free. You know, I used to have a guide dog. I don't anymore, but it was really challenging to manage a dog and a phone. And I've thought of the Envision glasses, but they are really expensive.
So what I recommend if people are going to use Ira, especially for mobility, is, and I know you can get them from Amazon. They're these little around the neck pouches that you stick
Right.
your phone in, and then you can, still have your hands free.
Huh.
That's a good idea.
Interesting. Because although I'm with the ARX glasses, I have no idea what kind of iOS solution they're going to come up with. I mean, my fear is that it's only going to work with new iPhones because of the connector. It's a hardwired connection.
Yeah, I don't know, because right now it only works with Android, so I'm assuming they were going to have to do something with that, to make it fit in the Lightning port.
Yeah, I mean, I use an Android phone for accessibility testing, but it would not be my preferred choice for a primary phone because I don't like the Braille support. It's kind of lousy. But as a mobility aid, I'm just trying to think of the best option.
Yeah. And I like the ARX headset. I think it's it's easy to use. Yeah. So hopefully.
Pardon me, this is Jay. Can you hear me now?
We hear you now.
Yes.
Excellent.
Oh, I got in late and I couldn't quite figure out how to unmute this on the phone. But my question is, let me try this. Right. So I'm talking into the phone the way I normally would. Now I'm going to plug in the headphones and keep the mic at the same distance. And now I've got the headphones plugged in, and I bet you're not hearing me anywhere near as well.
It went down. It dropped a little.
Is that a problem you're having?
Yeah. I have to talk much closer to the phone. Now, if I put, say, now I've got about 4 fingers distant, which if I were using headphones, I might not want to be talking right into the phone, but say about 4 fingers distant. Now, if I pull out the headphone, how much louder did that get?
It got a lot louder. This is Michael here. One thing to be conscientious of, especially when using a headphone with microphone, the microphone on the phone shouldn't affect your volume. You should be talking into the microphone on the headset, not on the phone.
Yeah, I'm using a headphone without a microphone.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and I've tried with a Bluetooth thing, which I would really like to use on this thing, but the same thing happens with the Bluetooth. I have to make sure I'm talking right into the phone.
Even with Bluetooth headphones? Is that what you're saying?
What?
With Bluetooth headphones, you still have to talk into the phone?
Yep.
That seems like a strange one.
Yeah, I was
I know.
not paired correctly, or
No, I've been emailing for quite a while, mentioning, has anyone else ever noticed this thing? And nobody, but I can test it out. Even like if I call my landline and I listen to the results, it's really clear to me what a difference it makes.
Yeah, so you're talking on your BlindShell right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you actually sound really good on your BlindShell with the.
You sound amazing.
Yeah, and this is without the headphones.
Mm-hmm.
Plug the headphones in again, and there we go.
And your headphones don't have a mic to them. They're just like.
And there,
just
now
headphones.
I've got the headphones back in.
Yeah, this is something we can bring up again with our developers and see what we can come up with.
Okay. Other than that, I love this thing. This is really cool.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Please stay on. Thank you. Okay, we
All
are
right.
going to, thank you. We're going to take, we're going to try to go back to Bryna, and then we're going to take one other participant right after that. Bryna, let's go ahead and try that again. I just want to, while we're waiting for Brian to come on, Richard asked, as far as with carriers going to 5G, how will we be dealing with that in the future? So today, the BlindShell Classic 2, Diane and Michael, correct me if I'm wrong, we operate over VoLTE, voice over LTE, and that allows us to stay nice and current and not necessarily have any impact as far as any further, additional changeovers from carriers.
Audio now unmuted alert. Zoom webinar. Question and answer button.
That sounds like Eleanor.
Oh, Diane? Yeah, Brian. Oh, I'm glad someone hears me. Bryna is on her phone and her home, and for some reason you're not hearing her. She's been trying to get in there, but it's not working. I don't know why. I'm on the computer.
So Eleanor, can you hold on for 1 second? So Barry,
Yes.
did you have more to finish with
Yeah, I
the
did say, so the BlindShell Classic 2 will be right there working on, parallel to carriers on 5G because of its VoLTE, voice over LTE capabilities. Thank you.
Okay,
Go ahead,
Eleanor.
Okay, I'm going to try to answer how you specified before. I do love it if I can learn how to use it. How I haven't called Diane for a couple of weeks due to some personal things, but are you going to, or can you do a beginner's class to start from the beginning? To give
Great idea.
To give because my confusion is trying to figure out what I'm pressing to get into which one of 7 or one of 6 or one of 8. I realize there are different places to go into, but I don't know in my head which one do I need. Is there any way that it's set up like an index or a glossary to say, if I say, how do I want to do this, and look in the glossary and it tells me page 20 or page 18, somewhere to go, because Diane's very helpful and I haven't been able to get to her. And sometimes I feel I don't want to bother her, but I didn't even know about Michael's classes. I didn't know about any of these classes till I happened to get into the ACB and discover it. I never got any information on it. And late last night, we got the one for today. So Bryna is in her house, I'm over here. And Bryna is my daughter, Diane knows it, and she helps out on this. So she has all the questions. Is there a number for Michael that we can call him or send an email?
So do you want me to give my number, Diane? Because I got no problem with people calling me.
Oh, I was going to say, so Michael is one of our distributors and a good friend of BlindShell. And if Michael doesn't mind, then go ahead.
Okay, or an email or something.
Yep.
Michael's not the one in Aventura, is he?
No.
Okay.
Nope, I'm in Oregon. So I work with AT Dies. And if you want, you can always send an email to support@atdies.com or give us a call from 10 to 2 Eastern at 269-216-4798.
Okay, can I ask Diane, could you send me in an email that information if possible?
Yes,
Because
I
I can put it down. The other thing, and then I'll get off. I'm very frustrated with this whole thing. I love the phone. I tell everybody about it, but I want to really learn how to use it.
Yeah, I like your idea about a beginner's class. What do you think, Barry?
I say it's a green light.
Well, my suggestion is to go from the beginning, and explain each button or whatever we're touching, what it's for. And
now lowered alert.
okay, now I got in here, even though I was I did my Alt and my A, and it did not say mute or unmuted, which is unusual because on other, when I'm in other Zooms, I'm blocked out. It doesn't let me unmute. It'll always say the host has you muted, but it isn't really that. It's something, I don't know if I'm doing it. But today it didn't say either way. So I hit the Alt and the Y. I figured somehow or other somebody will notice me. Because when I kept saying hello, nobody heard me when we first started. And Brian's on her house on the home line, and you're not able to hear her. I don't know why. Yeah, so she wasn't able to get in, and she's the one that has all the questions that I want to know answers to. She takes that all down. So I'll get in touch with Diane. Tomorrow's not good, Diane, right?
Tomorrow's okay. Yeah.
Okay, Friday. Yeah. All right, I thank you very much. And I do love the phone, even though it's not letting me learn how to use it. So
Thank you,
That darn
Eleanor.
phone. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're gonna take, I think we're gonna take one last participant. I'm gonna go to Terry.
Can you hear me now?
We hear
Hi,
you.
Terry.
First of all, Guidelights and Gadgets has a pouch for your phone, whoever was talking about that. And also, I missed majority of this call because of a doctor's appointment. So is there any way we can get recordings?
Yes, great question. So later today on blindshellusa.com, in the footer at the bottom of the homepage on the desktop version, there will be a section called Talking Points, and that will be, let's give you the exact details here. One moment. It will be in the footer under, there's a category called Support Center. In there will be an option for Talking Points, and you'll be able to retrieve and listen to today's recording.
BlindShell
USA, blindshellusa.com.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So I want to, from my side, I want to say thank you to all the participants today. Thank you so much for all these incredible questions. We love this interactive session, and we're looking forward to continuing to bring more and more to the BlindShell community. It's been really, truly an honor to be here. I'll say as a co-host, to be alongside with Diane and Michael, and to be able to, continue to pave the way and bring more capabilities to the BlindShell Classic 2 and beyond. Again, you can reach us at blindshellusa.com. You can reach Diane at blindshellusa.com as well. All recordings will be posted on our website, blindshellusa.com, in the footer under Talking Points. And we're going to look at additional options as far as what Eleanor brought up. We've taken all of these comments, took a lot of notes here today. And I just want to personally say thank you for everyone who joined us. So please, before everyone goes, please don't forget, we have 2 questions we would love for you to answer for us. Diane, want to close it out?
Yeah, so thank you to everybody who registered and who came on the call. Like I said, I was just amazed, and I'm so happy that you all are enjoying your BlindShells, and I thank you for teaching me stuff every day.
So we'll be back here on Thursday, the 29th, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. And just want to say thank you to everyone out there, and wishing everyone a wonderful afternoon or day wherever you are. And we'll see you next week, and see you in 2 weeks. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Michael.